Welcome to your very first classical guitar lesson. Before we begin, I'd like to point out a few things. You might notice the way I'm sitting with the guitar is with my left leg raised and the guitar resting on the left leg with my right hand arm leaning on this part of the guitar to add some weight to it. Now, you could try sitting like that because it does give you a sense of security and the guitar isn't going to wobble around too much when you're playing. On the other hand, since some of these pieces are quite easy in this section, you may just want to try sitting with the guitar like you normally would over the right leg. Another thing, I'm keeping my nails extremely short on my left hand, which you should with all the styles of guitar playing that we've learnt. But with the right hand with classical, sometimes you get a really nice tone by growing the nails on your fingertips. They don't have to be too long, but you should get some emery paper or a very, very fine nail file and file them on the edges so that there are two surface areas hitting the string at the same time, the nail and the fleshy part of your fingertip, which will give you a nice projected tone. First piece we're going to be learning is a delightful little Spanish tune called Malaguena. Now, although the music is available in the written material, it's not that necessary that you're able to read it before you can play it. I'm going to begin now by playing you the tune so you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll break it down into little sections for you to learn. Now, with the right hand, with classical guitar, there are two types of ways of playing the string. One is called rest stroke, when the fingers go through the string. In this case, it's my first finger, and it comes to rest on the string directly behind it. And the other type of way of playing the string is called free stroke, where the finger plays the string, but doesn't rest on the string directly behind it. Now, the proper Spanish words for those strokes are apoyando, which is rest stroke, and tirando, which is free stroke. Now, when you're doing free stroke or rest stroke, it's sometimes a good idea to be able to use both fingers, alternating them one after another. So you would have for free stroke and more of a walking your way over the first string, coming to rest. And the way it's done, as one finger comes down, the other finger is lifting off at the same time. Not afterwards, but at the same time that each finger goes through, uplifts the other one, like that. And the main difference between the two strokes is rest stroke is very projected and very forceful and loud, and free stroke is a little quieter. So you'd usually use rest stroke in various passages of a piece of music where you wanted the notes to come across more fervently and louder. Now, we're going to take a look now at how to play this first part. You notice I'm going to be alternating on the first string like that. But I should also point out that if you can't alternate, don't worry, it's okay to use one finger, whether it's your index or your middle finger. And one more thing, when you do a free stroke, try not to pluck the string upwards because you get rather a thin sounding tone. Try and make the string vibrate as much as it can parallel to the body of the guitar. That is this sort of way. And you'll get a much more even, smoother tone than if you play the string or pluck it upwards like that. We're ready now to look at the left hand and to learn our first few notes for the introduction to Malaguena. Now the passage you're going to learn now goes like this. It's what I've called the intro or the introduction. Now it starts off with open E, the first string, and it goes E, F, G, F, E. Fairly simple, and in this timing. And there's a slight pause there, and then you go to the second string, and the notes are B, open, D, C, open B, C. Once again I'll play that string. And the timing of the two strings would be, you can hear I pause very slightly there. And if you can, try and get a smoothness between the notes rather than a choppy. Just try and hold each note down till the last minute, and you'll get a nice smoothness between the notes. Now the last phrase we're dealing with starts on the third string, second fret, which is an A, and it goes, once again I'll play it. It's quite a long phrase, and it goes A, and there's a sharp, a G sharp now with the first finger, back to A, so that is open B, D on the second string, C, open B, back to A, and end up with your first finger on G sharp and let the note ring. And that entire phrase sounds like this. And the entire intro. Now, the intro ended up with the first finger on a G sharp, and the note was left ringing, the end of the phrase. I'll just play you that last phrase. Now, while it's ringing, for the next part of the song, put your middle finger on E. That's the fourth string, second fret. And you're set up to begin playing the next part that sounds like this. Now, while you've got that chord in position, let's scoot over and take a look at the right hand. Now, the chord is being held by my left hand, but the thumb and finger of my right hand is what makes this part particularly nice to the ears. And it starts off with the thumb hitting the fourth string, followed by the index finger or middle finger, whichever one you choose, hitting the first string. And in fact, the rest of the section that we're learning involves an alternation between the thumb playing a note, followed by the finger playing a note on the open first string. Once again, whichever finger you prefer, or if you prefer to, you can alternate between this finger and this finger when it's time to play the first string. So we start off again with the thumb, finger, thumb on the third string now, once again finger on the first, thumb on the second now, and again answered by the finger on the first string. So we have, and we repeat that. So we do that twice. Again. I'm playing this up to speed, but of course if you're learning it, you may want to go at a slower pace. More like this. And I would encourage you not to look at your right hand. Try and feel where the strings are. It's okay to look at your right hand while you're just learning this part, but once you've got a feel for it, look away at your left hand and try and feel where the strings are with your thumb and finger. To finish this lesson off, I'd just like to say I want you to practice that. Take a look at the written material as well. And next lesson we'll continue finishing the tune off.